On the evening of the 16th of September 1745, a transport fleet filled the entrance to the Firth of Forth behind me. Aboard the ships was Lieutenant General Sir John Cope and an army of almost 2,000 foot soldiers and artillery. Their mission was to stop the Jacobite army of Charles Edward Stuart from spilling out of the Highlands and his rebellion getting out of control. But the fact that they were here off the coast of Dunbar meant that they were already failing in that mission. This army had already marched from Stirling to Inverness, from Inverness to Aberdeen, and without being able to corner or outmaneuver or force a battle upon its enemies. Instead, as the Jacobites had pushed south, the British army had to take ship at Aberdeen and sail down in the hope of reaching Leith before the Jacobites could take Edinburgh. But here they suffered yet another setback. It was clear on that evening that the wind was against them. Johnny Cope would not be able to take his army up to Leith. Instead, at about 7 o'clock that evening, he wrote a letter to the government stating that his intention the following morning would be to disembark his entire army here at Dunbar. It took pretty much all day on the 17th of September for General Cope's small army to disembark here in the old Cromwell Harbour at Dunbar. Off the coast was HMS Fox, the frigate that had escorted the transport ships down, and this harbour would have been filled with smaller craft ferrying men and equipment ashore. You can imagine the scene here. It was very busy. The bright red coats of the foot soldiers as they disembarked, they were the priority. The infantry had to get ashore first. Only once they were here could you start moving the baggage, the equipment, then the 6 cannons and the 6 mortars, and of course the train of wives that had sailed down from Aberdeen with the army too. So there's a lot of activity in this bustling scene, and we can almost hear the cries of the sailors and the shouts and barked orders of the soldiers here echoing around this harbour. But there was no space here in the harbour for an army. As soon as men were ashore, they had to start moving through the town and out onto the road west, where they established camp. General Cope himself disembarked here. There's a flight of stone steps just behind me, which are still known locally as Johnny Cope's Steps. This was the beginning of General Cope's march to Prestonpans, and shortly after his disembarkation here, he made contact with those dragoons coming in from North Berwick.